You want someone to regret losing you? Stop trying to make them regret it. That's the first lesson nobody wants to hear, but it's the truth. Because the moment you're chasing their regret, you're still giving them power. You're still living in their shadow, waiting for validation that may never come. Real regret doesn't come from begging, posting cryptic messages, or showing off a fake glow up. It comes from something far more dangerous: your complete and total disappearance from their emotional radar. Most people get this backwards. They think regret is something you create through revenge, through proving a point, through rubbing success in someone's face. Wrong. Regret is a slow burn that ignites when someone realizes they lost access to a version of you they'll never find again. And that only happens when you stop performing and start evolving. So let's get one thing clear right now. This isn't about playing games. This isn't about manipulation or fake behavior designed to get a reaction. This is about becoming someone so fundamentally different, so genuinely improved, that the person who lost you eventually looks back and thinks, "What did I do?" And by then, you won't even care anymore. The foundation of real regret starts with silence. Not the dramatic kind where you're secretly hoping they notice. The kind where you genuinely have nothing left to say to them. You know why silence works? Because it forces the other person to fill the void with their own thoughts. When you're constantly reaching out, explaining yourself, or trying to stay friends, you're giving them comfort. You're letting them believe they made the right choice because you're still there, still available, still orbiting their world. Uh, But when you go silent, actually silent, something shifts. They start wondering. They check your social media. They ask mutual friends about you. They replay conversations in their head, looking for clues about why you're not fighting for their attention anymore. And that's when the first seed of regret gets planted. Not because you wanted it to, but because human psychology can't help itself. Silence only works if it's paired with genuine detachment. You can't be silent while secretly obsessing over them. You can't disappear while still checking if they viewed your story. Real detachment means you're busy building something they're no longer part of. You're investing in yourself so heavily that their absence becomes background noise. People regret losing you when they see you thriving without them, but here's the catch. That thriving has to be real. You can't fake this. You can't post gym selfies while crying in your car. You can't pretend to be happy while stalking their new relationship. The universe has a funny way of exposing pretenders. Authentic growth radiates. It changes how you walk, how you talk, how you handle challenges. And when someone sees that shift, when they witness you becoming a version of yourself they never got to experience, that's when regret hits like a freight train. But let's talk about what real growth actually looks like, because most people confuse motion with progress. They think joining a gym means they're improving. They think a new haircut equals transformation. Surface changes don't create regret. Deep internal shifts do. Real growth means confronting why you tolerated bad treatment in the first place. It means understanding your patterns, your triggers, your need for validation from people who didn't deserve access to you. It means therapy, journaling, hard conversations with yourself at 3 in the morning when you can't hide behind distractions. This is uncomfortable work. Most people avoid it because it's easier to blame the other person, to paint yourself as the victim, to collect sympathy from friends who tell you what you want to hear. But if you actually want someone to regret losing you, you have to become someone who would never tolerate being treated that way again. You have to evolve past the version of yourself that accepted breadcrumbs. Because the person who lost you, they're going to assume you're still that same person. They're banking on you staying stuck, staying available, staying unchanged. And when they eventually circle back, testing the waters with a casual message or a late night text, they're expecting the old you to respond. What creates soul-crushing regret is when they realize the old you is gone. Not angry, not bitter, not waiting for an apology. Just gone. Replaced by someone who's moved so far forward that their past feels like a different lifetime. Here's what most people don't realize about regret. It's not instant. It doesn't happen the day after the breakup or the week after the fallout. Regret is a slow realization that builds over months, sometimes years, as someone watches you from a distance and sees proof that you're better off without them. They see the promotion you got, the new relationship where you're actually treated well, the confidence in your eyes that wasn't there before, the way you stopped chasing validation and started setting standards instead. That's when it clicks for them. They didn't just lose you, they lost the opportunity to be part of your best chapters. And what makes this particularly devastating for them is realizing they were the obstacle you had to remove to get there. Think about what happens when they reach out after months of silence. Maybe they send a casual text, something low effort like, hey, or how have you been? They're testing to see if you're still accessible, still waiting, still the same person who would drop everything for breadcrumbs. Your response, or lack thereof, tells them everything. If you respond immediately, if you're overly available, if you sound eager, they relax. They think nothing's changed. But if your response is delayed, brief, or shows zero emotional investment, that's when panic sets in, because suddenly they're not in control anymore. The dynamic shifted without their permission. You're not asking questions about their life. You're not trying to extend the conversation. You're just polite and distant. Like they're an acquaintance, not someone who once had full access to your world. This indifference is more powerful than any angry outburst could ever be. Anger shows you still care. Indifference shows you've moved on to a level where they're simply irrelevant. And irrelevance is the ultimate form of rejection. People can handle being hated. They struggle to handle being forgotten. What you need to understand is that making someone regret losing you isn't about revenge. It's not about making them suffer or proving they were wrong. It's about becoming so secure in your worth that their opinion no longer factors into your self-perception. You're not trying to make them regret anything. You're focused on building a life so fulfilling that their absence becomes a footnote, not a tragedy. The regret happens automatically as a byproduct of your growth. They regret it because they witness proof that you were never the problem. Your capacity for love, loyalty, success, and happiness didn't disappear. It just got redirected to people and pursuits that actually deserved it. And watching you give to others what they took for granted creates a specific type of remorse that eats at them quietly. No dramatic confrontations needed. No revenge plots required. Just you, living well, unbothered by their memory. That does more damage to their ego than anything you could say. Here's what the timeline usually looks like. First 3 months, they feel relieved. They think they made the right choice. They enjoy their freedom, explore other options, convince themselves they upgraded. Months 4 through 6, doubt creeps in. They start noticing your absence. Things that reminded them of you trigger unexpected emotions. They wonder what you're doing, but they're too proud to check directly. Months 7 through 12, reality sets in. Their new situations don't compare. The grass wasn't greener. The people they chose over you revealed their true colors. Meanwhile, your social media shows you thriving, or better yet, you've disappeared from social media entirely, making them wonder even more. After a year, full regret hits. They realize the connection you offered was rare. The way you loved them, supported them, tolerated their flaws, that's not easy to find. And now someone else has access to the improved version of you they'll never meet. This timeline varies, but the pattern remains consistent. Regret is delayed because people need time to realize what they lost. Immediate regret is rare because it requires self-awareness most people don't possess until consequences force clarity. So, what do you do while they're on this journey toward regret? Absolutely nothing involving them. You focus on yourself with an intensity that borders on obsession. You become your own priority, your own project, your own mission. Every workout is for you. Every book is for your growth. Every new skill is adding to your value. Every boundary you set is protecting your peace. Every toxic person you remove is making space for better ones. You're not doing this to make anyone regret anything. You're doing it because you finally realized your life is too short to spend it making other people comfortable at your own expense. And when someone eventually expresses regret, whether directly or through mutual friends, you'll feel something unexpected. Not satisfaction, not vindication, not even anger. Just indifference. Because by the time they realize what they lost, you've already realized what you gained by losing them. That realization is worth more than any apology they could offer. Their regret doesn't change your path. It just confirms you were right to walk it alone. That's the real power move. Not making them regret losing you through some calculated performance, but becoming someone who genuinely doesn't need their regret to feel whole. You're not waiting for them to realize your value. You already know it. And you're too busy honoring that value to waste time monitoring whether they've figured it out yet. So stop checking if they're watching. Stop crafting your life as a response to their rejection. Stop measuring your progress by whether they've noticed. Build your empire for you. Heal your wounds for you. Raise your standards for you. And if they happen to look back one day and realize they fumbled the best thing they ever had, that's their burden to carry, not your victory to celebrate. Because you'll be too far ahead, surrounded by people who chose you first, to even notice them standing in the rearview mirror of a life they're no longer part of. That's how you make someone regret losing you, by making sure their loss becomes your greatest gain.